It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Everyone, Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my co-host, my pal, the man with the plan, the one and only, John Meleka. Before we ask John how he's doing, we all know what it is.
You know what it is.
If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. It's the free way to help us out, okay? We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a comment. We will read it. We're also partnered with Fansided and Minute Media, so you can find this podcast over at the Daily Knicks, the Jet Press, or even sometimes the main Fansided page. We also got a YouTube channel, Knicks, Jets, etc. Period. Find the page, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And we watch a video. Hit the like button, leave a comment, add to the conversation. Come on, guys. Everything I'm talking about is a free way to support us. You know, if you're tapping in right now, you're helping us out as well. But go the extra mile. Support us even more. Do the free thing. Subscribe. Do all those stuff. All right? And while you're also over at the YouTube channel, we got another podcast, Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, our guy, co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go down every single sport and talk odds, okay? You want to put money down on the line for whatever sport it is, these guys got you covered. They just had Chris Persianen on talking about betting odds for where players are going to go for the NBA draft tomorrow. We're recording right now Wednesday night at 9:36 p.m., but these guys got you ready. These guys are going to have you locked and loaded, so make sure to check out that episode, okay?
That one's honestly more than a gambling episode. It was honestly a draft episode. We just literally went down the entire draft talking rumors around the NBA, Knicks cap. Like it just became another Knicks episode with gambling odds on all the players. That was a really good episode. That'll be out. If you're listening to this, it's already out on YouTube and on all audio streaming platforms as Alex always goes through. So definitely check that out. It's a really good one, especially as a primer before the NBA draft.
And look, if John's saying what it is, and I haven't heard it yet because as of right now hasn't been published, if they're really just talking draft, that's just good for evergreen stuff. If you want to go back and listen and hear players where they should have gone, get some insight, Chris Persianen is that dude if you want some draft expertise. So, go check that episode out.
Apparently, the Fordham broadcaster is sourced. So,
Chris is making moves out here. Shout out to Chris. All right, Chris is a hardworking man. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. My man, John, we're back at it again. This is a crazy week. This is going to be a crazy week. Got draft tomorrow. Jets, reporters are taking off. DJ Bieniemy is legitimately taking off.
Take flight.
Hashtag take flight. Not not the Dallas women WNBA team.
Classic. But yeah, dude.
Take flight, baby.
This is a crazy week, dude. I mean, the fact that the NBA draft is, if you're listening today, and it feels like I've said it a couple of times already, it feels like the NBA finals was 3 months ago. It was literally last week. I mean, we already did the whole Steph Curry to the top 10 debate. Like that's already done and over with. Everything is just moving so fast in the NBA world.
I'm tired, man. Look at these eyes. Look at these eyes. Look at these eyes. Stop what you're doing. Look how tired I am from this.
Every single team has made a hypothetical trade within the last 48 hours. Everybody's been drafted
or actually has made a trade.
10. A little bit of shuffling right now, but nothing crazy at the moment. But yeah, dude, the NBA is really hype. The NFL is in its slowest time until literally after the Super Bowl. Like right now, we are in the official lull of the season. For Jets fans, I mean, if you're not watching the video series, Flight 2022. Like, I don't honestly know what to say to you, man. I honestly have no idea what to say. We call it propaganda. It is just the best show, man. Like, we joke around a lot about Hard Knocks and how we're excited about Hard Knocks and stuff. Dude, this Jets, and they just confirmed everything we were talking about. It just validates everything, Alex. Like, the whole it's not acting, you know what I'm saying? It's not fabricated. It's not keeping up with the Kardashians. It's not a reality show. Like, they're just literally videotaping them working, and they're talking about how they're viewing JJ, you know what I'm saying, Jermaine Johnson, and what they rank Sauce Gardner, and how hyped he was when they drafted Stingley. Like, it was just like it was everything that we do. It was everything we watch. It was everything that we talked about. And it's just, man, if you are hyped about this Jets season, or if you want to learn more about this Jets team, you have to watch that. We're gonna have a full review.
That's
on that
probably the
next
best
week.
thing. That's probably the best thing that you could say. Yeah, and either next week or the week afterwards, we're gonna really break the series down. But if you want to learn about the players and see who they are, definitely that's what that video does. I mean, look, I always joke about being the propaganda machine because it does what it's supposed to do. You get you hyped for the season. It makes you think the Jets are going undefeated every single season. All right. Every time I watch any of those videos, I'm like, oh, yeah, Jets are going undefeated. Don't worry. And then I have to reel myself back in and be like, whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. We're not doing that right now. We're not going that direction. We're not going that direction. All right. Let's calm the brakes. We're still rebuilding over here. But no, very good stuff over there when you want to go check it out. But look, man, you're talking about ranking, right? Talking about ranking Sauce Gardner and everybody. Well, we got to do some ranking today too. But you know what? We got to bring in our guy, the solidified third co-host of this pod, essentially, when it comes to Jets, Mr. Video Producer Greg Albert. What's going on, Greg? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm doing great. Thanks for, the nice introduction. I'm ready to rank. I'm also ready to break down the take flight stuff. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out yet, go give it a watch. I think it's 5 parts, 5 YouTubes, episodes, 30, 40 minutes each or so. Definitely
put it on times 1.5. No problem banging out in 30
You are a
minutes.
sick man.
Yeah, you definitely can. And to John's point, it's incredible. So if you haven't watched it yet, I don't want to give away too much because we will do a deep dive into the whole 5-part series either next week or the week after. Because to you guys' point, it is kind of a slow period in the NFL season. And we're trying to come up with, good, fun topics to talk about and do and keep people interested. I think we got a good one tonight, man. We did a little Ring of Honor ceremony draft the other day. This time we're going to get a little more collaborative on it and work together on kind of breaking down the AFC East. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good episode.
Oh yeah. We're breaking down the AFC East. We're going to give you some rankings right now. Okay, rank it. We're going to start off giving you a little bit of ranking of like where we think teams are going to finish in the AFC East. Then we're going to discuss by position where we think each position group ranks in the AFC East. And we're going to start with the offense today. Just keep it a little simple. That's why next week we're going to do the defensive side, but we're going to stick with the offense today. So, look, guys, another year. I can actually be very confident saying I do not have to watch the New England Patriots win the division. So that brings me some some joy.
Yeah.
But there is another team that's on the rise that was pretty close last year, going pretty deep in the playoffs that we're talking about. So that would be the one Buffalo Bills. So we're just going to hop into this right now. We're going to go from bottom to top, or we can go top to bottom. Which way do you guys want to go? I'm going to leave it up to the panel to decide.
I think we'll start with the top because I assume the top's going to be the easiest.
I think the top
That's
is the
gonna be a
easiest.
dog
Yeah.
fight to figure out 2, 3, and 4. So
Yeah. So obviously it's the Buffalo Bills for me. I think you got to put the Buffalo Bills. Got to give them respect. They were there. Josh Allen's been doing a good job. Doug McDermott's been doing a good job coaching that team. Like, you got to give them respect. They're almost have arrived, but they're there. They're a really good team. So I just got to give them credit to where credit's due. I think they're going to win the division again, like they did last season. They were close. They made an interesting game against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the Buffalo Bills for me. What about you, Greg?
yeah, I mean, if you look at the odds for divisions, because I'm a gambling guy, They have the second highest odds to to be a division
Shout out
winner.
Winning Picks Weekly.
Yeah, shout out Winning Picks Weekly. Go give it a like. Go give it a follow. But I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, are minus 300 to win their division. Then after that, the Bills are minus 180 is the most likely favorite, to win the division. So I think 11 wins last year, knocking on the door, maybe a coin flip away from moving on to the big stage. So I think it's most likely going to be the Bills. They're the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, betting wise this year. So I don't know about all that,
Yeah,
but
wild.
to win the division, yeah, I think they're the best team in the AFC East.
They're the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now. Did I hear that right?
I believe so.
Good Lord.
At least on Yahoo when I log in and stuff. Yeah, outright betting. Yeah, Buffalo Bills plus 650, Tampa Bay plus 750, Chiefs plus 950.
Okay.
I hate all of those, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those three.
Chargers plus 1600. I don't hate it. Just throwing that out there.
I don't hate that. I don't even think the Chiefs are gonna make the playoffs, but we'll get into that at a different time, at a different day. I mean, I guess the safe answer, the easy answer here is Buffalo. Like you guys said, they were the best team last year, but at the same time, that means that their strength of schedule is the hardest this year in the division specifically. I think they're ranked like 12 on the strength of schedule. Meanwhile, everyone else is like in the 15 to 17 range or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, not by much, but you're talking about coin flips here, right? To get in, a couple coin flips here and there. I don't know, dude. How long can the Bills sustain this? I'm picking them to win the division, but I'm not like minus 225. No way am I throwing that down. Objectively speaking, no chance am I betting on the Bills minus 225. I think that's very silly, to be honest with you. I think at the very worst, you'll get better odds as the year goes on. Maybe slip a game here or there. You know what I mean? Look bad for a couple games. So I know that's my gambling brain on, but just to be safe, just so nobody runs away from the pod, I'll put the Bills at 1 here.
Hey man, looking at the Bills too. I mean, look, Bills back in 2019, 2020 when Tom Brady was still on the Patriots, right? They went 10-6. They were second in the division. The following year, they then come out with 13-3, number 1 in the division. Then last season, they go 11-6, win the division again. I think it's just it's easy to assume. So to go to your point, John, like they had a tough strength of schedule last season. They went 11-6, still won. They barely beat out the Patriots, who were 10-7, right behind them. So to your point, yeah, it is going to be difficult again for them because it's going to be another year of a tough strength of schedule, right? So, but I still think if they can edge out the Patriots, because I don't look at the Patriots as being anyone that spectacular. I think the Bills, it's an easy lock for them to be number 1 again. Now going on to number 2. I'm gonna start.
It gets murky.
This one is good. This gets. I hate saying it. I hate thinking it because my heart wants to tell me one thing, but my brain's telling me another thing.
Yeah,
and I think this is where we're gonna start getting some differences. Unfortunately, I think I gotta go with the Patriots just because Billy B is still there, and just the evil genius that he is. He legit made a guy who only can throw no further than 10 yards win 10 out of 7 games. I mean, for the love of God, the dude
shape of his life now, bro. Best shape of his life.
I mean, for the love of God, the kid didn't even throw that many passes. Was it? He was the one game against the Buffalo Bills where he'd even throw, was it like 3 times, 5 times, something like that, and they still won.
They murdered that game,
and I really hated it. I hated having to see that they legit got to hide their rookie QB who legit can throw further than 10 yards, and they still beat the team that ultimately won the division. So I gotta go with the Patriots as being probably the second in the division, even though I hate saying it, just because Bill Belichick is that maniacal mastermind that I really just dislike. That's what I'm going with. And just to keep the order going, Greg, who you got for number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I got the Patriots too. I don't know if I'm as far down on Mac Jones as you are. I think he could throw the ball. I just think that they don't really have anyone to catch the ball. I think that's their biggest problem on offense. I mean, at Alabama, we saw him slinging around, but then again, he had one of the best wide receiving core in college football history.
Man was throwing ducks his rookie season. I'm not sold.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, here's the thing, dude.
he's
Like,
gonna improve.
if you're telling me that the wide receivers, they had nobody to throw to, yet at the same time they're spending so much money on, Jonnu Smith, the pass catching tight end, along with Henry.
Yeah.
They got Nelson Aguilar, all this money on him. They got Kendrick Bourne in there. They got Devontae Parker. They got Jacoby Myers. Like, they got N'Keal Harry, who they drafted. Like, at what point is it there? Like, does it start affecting them? Like, they don't have anybody to throw to. But now, most of your assets are going towards pass catches. You still don't have anybody to pass to. Why are you still confident in this offense?
Because I think if they did have pass catchers last year, they would have won the division. I mean, it came down to a game late in the season when they just didn't have the horses to keep up with the Bills. So I think they made terrible decisions with the tight ends and the pass catchers they brought in. I think we all agree on that. I mean, they sunk so much money into these 4 or 5 players, and none of them are really good. I think Hunter Henry was the best, especially in the red zone for them last year, just because I had him like on a tight end in one of my fantasy leagues, so I saw him catching a tight end like every other week. But other than that, man, I mean, Smith really didn't impress. Pass catchers don't impress. Running back's pretty good. I mean, Harris I like, but we need to see a little bit more of Stevenson if they're going to be a real 1-2 punch. But I think they're just the best overall team, best organization in the AFC East, so I think that carries a lot of weight. The locker room and, the front office is very important in all NFL organizations, and New England might have the best, people in place to make sure that thing rolls. So, I don't know. I just think they're the best team. I think they if I'm going to bet anything, I kind of like the Patriots to win the division at plus 400. I think they have a shot at winning it. Just because, like you said, minus 200 for the Bills, I want to bet something like that. So, I think it's an easy second place for the Patriots right now. I think they're going to win double-digit games.
So I think a good bet for the Patriots is second place at plus 190.
Yeah,
I kind of like that so far as a nice value pick, to be honest with you. However, the way the schedule is set, where the Patriots open up against the Dolphins, I think that's an interesting game, especially with the new revamped head coaching staff, the new revamped offense in Miami too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. Also, like, how much does Malcolm Butler really have in the tank? Now he's your starting corner.
J.C. Jackson's gone. He was a shutdown guy.
Number 1 in the league.
Yeah.
So they open up with. I know we've been talking about how hard the Jets schedule is. Patriots open up at Miami. It's impossible for them to play there in general. At Pittsburgh, home versus Baltimore for their home opener, week 3. Tough game. And then at Green Bay. Their first 4 weeks, they can easily go 0-4, 1-3. Like, that's not out of the question for me. And then they're going to win like 4 games easily. One of those is the Jets. To be honest, right? They got the Lions, Browns, Bears, Jets, Colts, bye. Right? They're going to pick that up right away. They're going to pick up all that slack.
Lions, Browns, Bears, Jets. Oh, my.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we can't forget, too, that Josh McDaniels is gone. He's out in Las Vegas now, so I think Matt Patricia maybe, Joe Judge running the offense.
Yeah.
That's never worked out.
I think the game for the second place division is going to be week 11, November 20th. Right after the bye week for both teams.
Yep.
Patriots at Jets.
Yeah.
Right after. No, actually, this one's in Gillette. Sorry, this game's in Gillette.
Yeah.
After they probably beat us with me there, because it's right in the middle of their streak. I already know. Like, I feel it already. However, this could be a big game, man. If we split with the Patriots here, I really think that the second half of our schedule is favorable. And we can kind of close the gap a little bit. They have a kind of tough schedule after that. I'm talking like this because I'm taking the Jets at second place here. I know that's crazy.
It's not crazy. I actually don't think it's crazy.
It's
Greg will always think John's crazy, but that's another story.
Yeah, it's plus 650 right now on DraftKings for the Jets to be second place. it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. But if they win some important games like week 11, like if they put up a fight, well, we haven't won one division game, right? So it's obviously insane since Joe Douglas has been here. So it's obviously insane to come out and say we're going to be anything but fourth, right? If we're being objective about it. But the way the schedule is set up, and if our opponent is the Patriots, in my opinion, for second place, we win week 11. We keep it tight before the bye week, like 500 ball, or hopefully a little above. Win week 11. Second place is ours for the taking, and that's a wild card spot, man. So that's where I'm placing them, and then by virtue of the fact I'm putting Patriots third, and then that leaves for me the Dolphins fourth.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, not obviously, but I don't think the Jets are too far off to be a second place team. I think there has, as John said, they have to. It's gonna be a lot of tight games in order for the Jets to be second place. There can't be a lot of mistakes. Like obviously that's the name of the game playing football. You can't have a lot of mistakes, but the Jets specifically, they're a young team, still a rebuilding team. They're not going to be an offensive juggernaut that we've seen throughout the NFL, whether it be Packers, whether it was Tom Brady on the Patriots, whether it was the days of Peyton Manning and so forth, whether it's like Russell Wilson who can just go in a snap of a finger and just put up points, right? This is not that team. This team's got to play really smart, like control the football type of game if they're going to be close to being a second place team, which it's not totally out of the picture. It's not a long shot. They could definitely be there. I'm going to go with them at third though. I think the Jets they're going to win games this season. They're going to improve. I'm going to go with third. And it's because they're going to be playing that type of football. They're not going to lose games at the hands of Zach Wilson, giving you 4 turnovers through interceptions in one game. They're going to lose games by like a touchdown this year, and it's going to be close.
Plus 350, Alex.
It's good. They're going to be close games this season. It's going to be close. The defense is going to help them keep them in games. Offense, I see it going to be a little more ground and pound. This is kind of going to be a throwback to the 2009-2010 Jets, not in the sense that we're going to
say that.
Not.
I'll lose my mind.
Hold on. In the sense of idea of play, not in actual dominance in those areas, because they were dominant in the run and they were dominant in the defense. But they're going to have that same kind of philosophy this season. That's all I'm saying.
That's exactly what the philosophy of this team is, man. I don't want to say it out loud, man. I'm trying not to, but all this team is set up to do is make third and short, run the ball, play defense, and they have a defensive head coach, a rah-rah guy. Everyone loves each other in the locker room. They have all their players have chips on their shoulder. Their one biggest contract, or about like he really has one more year on it.
Is CJ Mosley?
This team is, dude. It's giving me 2009-2010 vibes, and if he could just be better than Sanchez, like that's all I ask, man. Just be better than the Sanchez.
And that's where, and I think like those Jets, they play second. Like those Jets, they did play second in the division, because they play that style of football. So that's where I'm going with the Jets to be third, though. I think we're gonna get some not gut wrenching, but tough losses where it's by a touchdown. So 100%. It's just that's why I got the team third. So Greg, because we already know where John's going. John's got Patriots third, Dolphins fourth. That obviously is Dolphins fourth for me as well, because
please let's sweep the board with that. Please let's sweep the board with the Dolphins fourth.
Yeah,
let's go.
Jets 3, Dolphins 4. I mean, I just don't see how the Dolphins improve this season.
Man.
They got Teron Armstead at left tackle, and they got Tyreek Hill, and
but you need somebody to get him the ball.
Chase. Yeah, I mean, listen. They're gonna be better than we think, but I don't think it's gonna be why we think. It's not gonna be this elite offense to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, even though we'll get to in a second. They might be the most elite wide receiver group. And they got Cedric Wilson at the third. Yep. I mean, that's pretty crafty. Preston Williams, who kills the Jets, I feel like from the time is not even on the depth chart. Right? Like they also have Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel, Myles Gaskin is hanging out there. Let's not forget Gesicki. Like they kill us for all these players that we think are whatever. They kill us. But I just feel like they're gonna be sneaky running team, ugly games. That's what the Dolphins do. All of a sudden, their defense will have like 3 games in a row. You know what
Where
I'm
they're
saying?
just
Where
on
it's like,
fire.
I think the Dolphins are like they'll do nothing for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden with like a minute left in the third quarter, they'll just like score like an 80-yard touchdown, and they'll do like 2 more to start the fourth, and they'll do nothing the rest of the game, and they'll win like 24-17
Xavier
out of
Howard.
nowhere.
Someone will throw to Xavier Howard for no good reason in the fourth quarter. I know.
Yeah, I feel like they just get a couple quick scores on you, and then all of a sudden it's like, crap, what do? We have to score quick, and you just can't do it. So we'll see. But
It just sounds like a day in Miami, man. You go morning, it's just calm. Afternoon's calm. Evening starts to get a little riled up. Nighttime is like, whoa, 120 miles an hour. That's kind of how they play.
So Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they do that, man. That's one throw from a touchdown at all times.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know if I'm discrediting too much. I think there's going to be a lot of like 6-yard passes from Tua this year.
Oh my God, he's going to wide receiver 3 until we die.
Yeah,
bro.
it's just going to be yards after the catch. Like I think they might set records for yards after the catch this year because Waddle and Hill are so fast. You have to deal with both of them, and you just have Gesicki as a bailout every single play. He's one of the best catching tight ends in the league. So.
And this
is where, receiver,
and this is where I think for the Dolphins, this is where I have them fourth, is that, you know, you got someone in Tyreek Hill that's supposed to be an explosive playmaker, but sure, he can catch a lot of underneath throws. But if you're going to just be predictable and throwing a lot of underneath throws, how far can you actually go, right? And I don't look at their running back situation as it's okay, it's good, like between there, but I don't think it's dominant enough where it would be anything like what we were just talking about, like a 2010 Jets, where you can go ground and pound, rely on your defense, and get some wins that way. I think they're going to be a team that struggles. First year head has still yet to prove himself.
A first year head coach.
A lot of that stuff, those two things in general, it will be rough. We saw how rough it was with the Jets. You have a quarterback that is unproven, rookie head coach. Very few times do you get both of those things, and it's gangbusters. Very few times.
Yeah, and like I was gonna say, a first year head coach, where historically I would say 99% of the time the reason why you're getting a new head coach is because your old head coach stunk. Brian Flores was a great coach, and they got rid of him because the organization stinks. And now I feel bad for Mike McDaniels because by all intents and purposes, it seems like he's a cool guy, very offensively focused, kind of a younger head coach, has some new systems, some new things he wants to try. And I don't know if he's a big upgrade over Brian Flores. Like I think he might be a downgrade.
I can't stand him at all. I hate that you have these positive notions about him.
I just don't want to be mean to the guy off the bat, but
dude, everything about this man makes me despise him. I love that he's the Dolphins head coach. Yeah. I love it so much. Like if he's gonna prove me wrong, if this is the guy that's gonna take Tyreek Hill and Tua over the top, then so freaking be it. Honest to God, dude, then so be it, man. Like I'll eat my words. I'll watch it happen. Let's see it. But if you're asking me, I'm taking the Dolphins plus 600 to be fourth in the division. That's where I'm going, man.
Well, John's taking him to be plus, you said what, plus 600 or plus 400, you said?
Plus 600, 60 to 1 for the Dolphins to be the fourth freaking place in the division. Sign me up, dude. I'm taking it.
So then let's transition to the next thing, because we just ranked these teams. So what was it? John's got 1 Bills, 2 Jets, 3 Patriots, 4 Dolphins. Greg and I are on the same line where it's Bills, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into these offensive ranking positions and see where it's interesting, because sometimes you can have the best skilled players and you're still like, what the hell? We're not, why are we not winning? You know what I mean? Like it just plays out that way sometimes. So let's get into this. We're going to start. Do you guys want to start with the quarterback, save that last, or do you want to start off with a different position group?
Let's start with the wide receivers, man. We just touched up on it a little bit. We've been mentioning pass catchers for the last couple of minutes.
How about this? Because I feel like everyone's going to be intrigued in the skill positions. Let's start off with the line. Let's just do O-line, get it off the bat. Because
this is gonna be controversial. Let's start with the line.
All right, I want to hear this right now. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's hear it, John.
Yeah, well, How about I tell you? You want to hear what my opinion is, or you want to hear like actual facts that the Jets have the best offensive line
Let's hear
in the
both.
division? I
Let's
mean, I guess okay. Let's call it the Patriots. Okay, we'll say the Patriots have the number one line because they just picked up Cole Strange. Let's just assume he's gonna be good because Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick doesn't draft well. But let's just forget all these things. Let's just say Bill Belichick drafted an O lineman, Cole Strange. He was fun in the Senior Bowl. Isaiah Wynn, amazing left tackle. David Andrews at center. On way new, like
Trent Brown, right tackle.
Trent Brown at right, it holds it down.
Yeah, you better believe it.
So that's the. I mean, going from Shaq Mason to Cole Strange is gonna be interesting, dude. I mean, that's gonna be the biggest set. So they have a tough time at the guards. However, if they keep it tight, which Bill Belichick will, they're gonna run for some yards. They're gonna keep it third and short. Mac Jones will only have to throw for like he'll be 24 for 27 with 120 yards, but they'll be winning games because they'll get first downs. They'll be controlling the clock. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'll go with the Patriots at one, but like a very close two, like a very, very close two is this New York Jets, man. This New York Jets offensive line is crazy. If Mekhi Becton is the right tackle, and we have fought a proven veteran at left tackle, next to a proven veteran, all-pro left guard, and Tomlinson. McGovern, okay, decent. Next to Elijah Vera Tucker, unbelievable rookie year, unbelievable in college. Next to Mekhi Becton, 77 at right tackle. Like, dude, the upside is endless. It's literally endless for me. So I'll just start off with the top two there, and then we can go down and see what you guys think. But for me, it's close between 1 and 2. That's where you got to give it to Belichick. The trenches, the defensive line, the offensive line, no matter who the players are, I'm like, dude, just give it to him.
It's always.
But he also
been
has
that way
the players. But he also has the players this year.
Yeah.
Too.
It's always been that way for Belichick, man. It's always been about the trenches, and that's why Tom Brady never really got sacked like that. Not only did he have his pocket awareness, but legitimately, when you watch those offensive lines, nothing really got through. That thing was a solid, that's a solid unit they always have. But I do agree with you, John. Patriots got to be number one when it comes to that. Look, man, I'm buying you on the New York Jets with the number 2. I'm buying it because I look at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, they're not that great.
That's why it's interesting when we say it's so obvious that they're going to win the division that we just talked about, because that's why I wanted to go through each and every skill position. And I want to kind of do the rankings of the division after we're all done and just make sure we're all the same. Because, dude, they might have a bottom tier, not only in the division, but in the whole league. When you talked about offensive lines, like Mitch Morse, okay. Like, remember when we were trying to get Mitch Morse for center and then they wanted to get rid of him after 1 year? Like, he's okay. Roger Saffold is their best player. He's a left guard. I think the whole year, their right tackle, Spencer Brown, he had a tough year. Wherever he played well, the Bills played well. Whenever he didn't, the Bills didn't. The rest of their offensive line, Ryan Bates, Deion Dawkins at left tackle.
He's probably their best player, but none of them are spectacular.
I would give it to Saffold, but I guess it's the left side. I don't know, dude. I don't trust it. I understand why Josh Allen is needed there, because he could sling it and he takes risks, and he's got enough confidence and enough prowess with the Bills organization and the fans to throw bad throws once in a while. Like, it's okay. And they love to run the ball. So,
well, look, the thing that's why
I don't know.
When I look at
don't tell Zach Moss that. I'm sure he'll have a different opinion whether they like to run the ball or not. But
and I know it's going to be crazy for some people to say, like, how do you have the Jets over the Buffalo Bills? But it's like, when I watch that offensive line, like, Josh Allen was running for his life too. Like, he was not. I didn't always see like a stable pocket back there for him. Guys would just get through, and when you don't, that's why Josh Allen running really is that dynamic. He's he's built like a running back playing quarterback, although he's a really good quarterback too. But because of that, that's why the Bills are legitimately able to thrive. Because if it was a regular quarterback back there, let's just even say for shits and giggles, it was someone like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson,
murdered.
He'd be murdered, and you're not going far. That's why that Buffalo Bills, and honestly, it's pretty close to like as bad as the Dolphins. But I don't know.
No, the Dolphins, I mean, Armstead, like, gives them water, like, gives them some sort of name to hang on. Otherwise,
a little bit of a foundation. Other than that, they were the worst. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Like, if Armstead gets hurt this year, like he always does, it's over. It's over for them. Like, I think they're going to have to throw to Hill or Waddle in 2 seconds. And honestly, I think it's gonna be bad for them, to be honest with you, dude. I really think it's not going to be – dude, I'm telling you right now, June 22nd, I cannot wait to watch the videos and the random still shots of the Dolphins head coach. What do I do right now? My quarterback's getting killed. Tyreek Hill's cursing me out. Like, Waddle wants a trade. Like, Xavier Howard's pissed. Like, it's gonna be fun, dude. Armstead's like, what am I doing right now? Like, I was on the Saints, and now, like, what's going on here? I think the Dolphins easily 4th here.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. I think the Patriots 1
1 through 4.
I think so. Jets 2.
Wow.
To your point about the Jets, I think we can be 1. I think we need 1 more year. I need to see 1 year out of Becton.
We just need to see it. We just need to see it at all.
And I need to see 1 year out of Lincoln Tomlinson coming over and just doing what he did in San Francisco as a Jet. That's it. Because, I mean, he was phenomenal. He was probably one of the best, if not the best, left guard in the NFL. So if he can come over and give us that, plus our young guys just take one full year, 1 more step, I think next year is no problem. We have the best offensive line in the division. For right now, I'm
more worried about the right. I'm more worried about the right, Greg.
Yeah.
Because AVT's never been on the right,
yep.
Except for a couple, and Becton's never been on the right except for a couple, in college too. So that one, I just need to see it for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, the Tomlinson, he's, like you said, best guard font. Like, he did it on Seattle in a different scheme. He's done it on both sides of the Jets, which is virtually impossible. Everyone else stinks on our line. He's been somehow good.
Exactly, and Font's one of those guys where I don't know if he's Jets good or if he's NFL good. He was good for us last year, but I don't know if you take his play across the NFL if he's considered like a great left tackle. So
that's huge for like Mets fans and Knicks fans listening everywhere. That's such. I feel like both those franchises can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. It's crazy. I was just doing some research right now, seeing how many times was, just to see how many times each quarterback in the division was sacked. Tua, granted, he played fewer games than everybody else, not by much. He was sacked the least amount, only 20 sacks. Then it was Josh Allen with 26, Mac Jones with 28.
That's what Zach Wilson with $1 million in 6 games.
44 for Mr. Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of the ball, dude.
Yeah,
dude, he was so bad for half the season. I wanted to kill him. I really wanted to kill him. I think, dude, that Patriots game, I wanted to strangle him with some of those throws, man.
Yo, it was bad. It was bad. So, I mean, if you watch the games, obviously you can see the offensive line for the Bills struggles. But this is where I say, like, Josh Allen, being who he is, doesn't get sacked that much. But you watch that line, it is not a great offensive line.
No, he's moving around for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's stick on that same basis, and let's go back down to the running backs, right? We want to do the offensive line. Let's go to the running backs here. And to be honest with you, no group really sticks out to me. A bunch of B's and B pluses, in my opinion. I honestly, Greg, tell me, man, where are you leaning here, dude?
It's kind of
first.
It's kind of tough because both teams have, the Bills and the Jets both have a young guy that, the Jets arguably Brees is going to be our number 1, where Cook's probably going to be the number 2 guy, but they've needed a number 2 guy in Buffalo for a long time. So I'm not sure how they're going to impact their teams. Miami went out and got a bunch of guys, but I don't really like any of the people that they brought in. So
Not a big Chase Edmonds guy.
no, not Chase
Not
Edmonds
Raheem
guy.
Mostert guy.
No, my problem with all that, we could talk to. I mean, I'm probably gonna say it a million times by the time I'm done podcasting. They just get hurt all the time, dude. I can't deal with it. They just get hurt all the time. They're out over and over. Shout out Chase Edmonds on my dynasty team. Plays 3 games a year. Like, come on. So I'm not worried about them. I honestly think there's a shot that the Jets have the best running back core.
You know what the sad thing is?
Division.
You know what the sad thing is? Chase Edmonds is a really good running back. Like he'll have those games.
Yeah.
Then, as you said, it's like cool. He had 1 game. Now he's out for like 4.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Yeah,
Where you at?
He's out for 8. He stinks sometimes. Some seasons are rough. Other seasons he's great. So, but like I was saying, I think the Jets got the best running back core. I think we have a shot at the best running back core. I think maybe the Patriots on paper, if you want to split hairs, have the best running backs right now with Harris and Stevenson. But I think Hall just has such an upside. Hall has a chance to be the best running back in the division. I think there's a shot he is the best running back in the division. We just haven't seen it at the NFL level yet. Michael Carter's pretty damn good, too, as a number 2 option. He's definitely the best number 2 option in the division.
That's a fact.
So,
That's a fact.
I'm putting the Jets 1 on this one.
Especially as a pass catching back for Michael Carter. Like,
Yeah,
you got to give him his props for that. Breece Hall, we haven't seen it yet. I think when you look at this list, I agree with you, Greg. Like Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, Myles Gaskin, that doesn't really excite me down in Miami at all. Honestly, I'd put the Bills up there as like, honestly, to me, it could be like a 3-way tie with the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bills, just because I do like Devin Singletary. James Cook, he's going to be a nice second option for them at running back. Devin Singletary, like when he's healthy, he can motor. Patriots, Damian Harris is solid. Stevenson, solid second option as well. I think I'm gonna go because it sounds like a cop out. I'm gonna lean the Bills and give the Bills this one in the running back, just because I think with Singletary as a starting running back, I can believe in that, and I like Cook as their second option, and then I'll go Patriots, Damian Harris, and Stevenson. I'll go Jets third, but it's really close, honestly. It's just because I haven't seen Breece Hall play at the NFL level, and I think if I just throw him up there, it's a little too premature in my opinion, just because I've seen the other 2 guys work.
You haven't seen James Cook work?
No, I'm saying like as a starter. I'm talking about between the other 2 stars, like Harris and.
But like who you taking like right now, Singletary or Michael Carter? That's those are the 2 starters there.
I like Michael.
I mean, that's how you look at it.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I go with Michael Carter.
Harris.
I'm taking Harris. I'm taking Harris.
Okay, fine. Take him out. Okay. Singletary.
I'm looking as like a complete like 1,
as a 4.
2.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering because like those are the players we've actually seen. So I'm just curious. Like, would you take Singletary or Carter? Because that to me is a toss up. Like Singletary on the jet on a different team, I think might have did a lot better than he did last year. You know what I mean? I don't think he lived up to his full potential.
Yeah, and that's
because Allen throws a lot sometimes.
Well, but the thing is, it goes back to the offensive line, right? Like if your offensive line is not creating the holes for you, how much work can you do? I do like Singletary as a talent. Like if I'm looking at him as a talent, I like him
as a 4. So the Bills and the Jets match up so well, especially the top 4, right? Because that's the unit.
Yeah.
Where it's Devin Singletary, James Cook, who so interesting, dude. Everybody had Breece Hall, the number 1 running back in the draft, going to the Bills who needed a running back. And then the Jets were going to maybe get Cook, right? The second running back in the second round. Turned out that the Jets got Hall, the Bills got Cook, and, here we are. So that's going to be a really fun matchup. And that's going to be a bunch of graphics here. And, they're going to be compared to each other for at least the first 4 or 5 years of their career. So
it'll be better than the EJ Manuel, Geno Smith graphics.
Damn, tough. But dude, we didn't mention Zach Moss and Duke Johnson on the back end there. You're talking about injuries, right? Like injuries, running backs, like those are nice players to have. Week 7, week 8, like they could play. You know what I mean? And like we said, this team is gonna run. And then you compare that to the Jets, where we have Singletary, like we said. I mean, we have Carter, like we said. We have Breece Hall, but then Tevin Coleman and Ty Johnson, like that's a nice wrap up. You know what I mean? When people get hurt, because last year, we were going with our fifth and sixth running backs, but by the end of the year. So as a unit, I'm taking the Jets #1. I'm taking the Bills #2. You guys were hyped about Damian Harris. To me, James White takes the cake, man, for the Patriots. Every time they need to do anything, they just do the stupid crap. James White drives me nuts.
Damian Harris had twice the amount of touchdowns as anyone else in the division.
And that's kind of like where I look at the depth. If we're talking about depth, that's why I go Bills first, because I think Bills 1 through 4 solid.
But here's the thing, dude. If the Patriots have the #1 O-line and they have the running back is getting quadrupling our numbers, how are they not #1?
Well, we're not looking at production. We're just looking at talent, right? We're just looking at talent, like who's got it. That's what I'm going. Bills, Patriots, Jets. That's how I'm doing.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go Patriots first. I think they're gonna have the best running back. Officially, I think they're gonna have the best running because Mac Jones stinks and they run the ball, and they have the best offensive line. And Damian Harris, I guess consensus best running back because I can't give it to a rookie. So I'll give it to the Patriots 1, Jets #2, Bills 3, Dolphins 4. I love putting the Dolphins 4 in every category. It's making me so
happy. There's a shot that might go the whole entire way. John, we'll have to figure out after the podcast kind of what that averages out to, because I don't know if the Bills should be 1, Patriots should be 1. We'll figure that out.
So I'm saying, after the next episode, we'll re-rank our division after everything, because the Dolphins at 4.
I kind of want to put this graphic out too, like Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast divisional.
We'll get that thing. We'll get that thing rocking. We'll get it rocking. So now let's move from the running back. Let's go.
Also, fullback Nick Bowden wins. Not even a conversation. Don't ask me.
Easy.
Let's move on.
Let's go with. You want to go tight ends? You want to go tight ends?
I want to go wide receivers because I want to talk about how I got the Dolphins first. Just talk about how I got the Dolphins fourth and everything.
The last place for each thing trend ends right here.
Yeah, because I think they're actually first here, man. And
I agree with that. I think it's pretty hard I think it's pretty hard to argue otherwise that the Dolphins, if you look at the talent,
the Bills are right there, dude.
You know
Bills got Diggs, and then they got our boy Crowder. And they got Gabriel Davis.
Davis went for like 300 yards and 16 touchdowns in one game.
That's true. That's true.
But I'm gonna give it to the Dolphins, man. They need some redemption from me. They have to have something.
And Waddle did it all season last year. He was phenomenal all year as the guy. And now you add
kick
Hill
returner
to that.
and the punt returner.
Yeah.
You got Hill. Now they have to worry about the speedsters. You got Gesicki, who is honestly not a tight end, dude. He literally lines up as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
They got the best pass catchers, in my opinion. I'm throwing the Bills #2. I'm throwing the Jets #3. I know I'm excited about them. I know the whole world is excited about them. I know everybody and their mom loves Garrett Wilson. I personally, I'm not that sold, dude. If he has an Elijah Moore,
John, don't do it. Come on.
If he has an Elijah Moore rookie year, I will be thoroughly impressed if he can get his numbers.
Not sold on Sauce, not sold on Wilson. What are you sold on, John? What are you sold on?
The offensive line. I'm sold on.
Jermaine Johnson. That's what I'm sold on.
I'm sold on the defensive line. I'm sold on Breece Ball. I'm sold on Elijah Moore. I love the tight ends. Sold on them.
Yep. All right, so Dolphins 1, Bills 2, Jets 3, a huge space, and then the Patriots 4.
Huge.
Oh, there's a massive gap for the Patriots 4. But I gotta go.
Alex, are you thinking the same thing, or you think of something different here?
No, I'm going.
Braxton Berrios, baby.
Here's the thing, and this is where I'm saying, like, John's right where it's close between the Bills and the Dolphins, but I gotta give it to the Dolphins. I think it's not that I think you got two receivers on that team that went over for 1,000 yards with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Okay, even though they both didn't do it last season on the same team, it's two 1,000-yard receivers. That's talent, okay? You got to respect the talent. So that's why I'm going with them first. Then you got to respect the Buffalo Bills. I do like Jamison Crowder in the SWAT. I think he'll be better than Cole Beasley. You got to respect Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is just his route running ability, his hands is just on another level. Look, I think even the Minnesota Vikings, even though they got the boy Jefferson out there, having all three of those guys would have just been insane. Like having him, Oh my God, that would have been something. But got to give respect to the Buffalo Bills for what they got. Gabriel Davis is solid guy. Then I got to go New York Jets, man. Young core, way better than what the Patriots got to offer. Okay, you're not selling me with Devonta Parker as the number one wide receiver on that team, followed by Jacoby
Don't say it out
Myers
loud.
and
Don't
Kendrick
say it
Bourne
out loud, man. Devontae Parker
and
owns
Nelson
us. He's
and
gonna own
Nelson
the fucking
Aguilar.
Patriots.
You're not, and then on top of that, if you keep going down the depth chart, you got Ty Montgomery over there. Woof.
I love that Ty
Look,
Montgomery's there. He's gonna score on us too. It's gonna be
he will score on us. But look, Elijah
James
Moore,
White, Ty Montgomery touchdowns.
Look,
I can't wait.
look, Elijah Moore in the limited games that he had, right? For 43 receptions, he had 538 yards. Injured for most of the time, couldn't get his footing right because Zach Wilson was struggling. The fact that he even had that many yards, and look, you know how my feeling on Elijah Moore. I think he's going to be the number one wide receiver on this team. You got Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson. I think we got a solid core. You got Braxton Berrios in the slot. Denzel Mims has been on the uptrend. I got to go with the Jets at 3. And then the wide, it is just not even close. New England Patriots, dead last, 4th in the wide receiver category. It's not even close. It's just not even close.
I'm with you
That's
guys.
fair.
I think that kind of like the offensive line, I think the Jets give them one more season. If they all play well and they're all healthy this year and they take that step, I think they're right in the mix for best wide receiver core in the division next year if everything stays the same. Because I think
That's a
we'll have
fact.
3 or 4 guys that are just lights out.
That's a fact. All right. Moving on down. Let's go to the tight end position.
I'm gonna have a new first here too.
It's the Patriots.
I just have to give it to Hunter Henry. I want to give it to the Jets, honestly, for having Uzama and Conklin and Ruckert and Lawrence Cager and Yeboah and Wesco. I mean, I love literally every single one of these tight ends, like name by name. And I don't think that's ever happened in the history of any football team. I've never loved their tight ends from 1 to 6. Like, it's never happened. So I want to give it to the Jets. My heart, everything tells me that, but I have to be fair here. Hunter Henry is unbelievable year after year after year. Jonnu Smith has to be better, man. Like he has to be better than last year. The second year in Belichick's system, that's gonna work out for you. So I'm gonna go the Patriots 1. Gesicki, he's not even a tight end. He just lines up. The Dolphins, they're fighting to not be 4th here.
And then after that, they have nobody. Like
Literally.
if you look at the whole unit together,
Like
they got
Smith.
nobody.
They stink. The Bills got names, right? They got first of all, Dawson Knox is a real guy.
I like Knox.
O.J.
I know you
Howard.
like OJ Howard. Yeah,
They're fun. I like
Yeah.
them, dude. I think I like them. So just out of respect, I'll give them the number 2. Like we wanted Dawson Knox, as Jets fans, as Jets organization.
you're giving the
too
Bills
expensive.
the number 2.
Oh, wow. Yo.
Yeah, as much as I want, I'm telling you, I love this Jets team. I love them. But at the end of the day, Dawson Knox, that was going to be our number 1 guy. He said no to us. You know what I'm saying? So we got to put it into some perspective.
I think if
Right.
CJ is healthy, I think CJ is much better than Knox.
That's the question, though. Is CJ going to be healthy?
Is he?
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I love CJ.
I don't-
I think Conklin. If you're listening right now, I'll give it to you. That there may or may not be a big app coming out by some big people where you can invest in player stocks.
Yeah.
His sources tell me it's coming out soon, backed by some big fellas that you guys may have heard of. Called whatever. I'll just leave it.
That.
I'll just leave it. Like Conklin is somebody I would buy stock in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and maybe OJ Howard, to be honest with you. Like, Knox gets hurt. OJ Howard all of a sudden becomes the number 1 tight end for, the high flying Josh Allen Bills offense. I could see that. Conklin, like, I've never loved a whole tight end unit more than I love the Jets unit. I'll give them 3rd, just out of like, you know what I mean? Just because Ruckert's a rookie. Conklin didn't really do anything with Minnesota. Uzama's always hurt. Cager is a wide receiver. Yeboah was undrafted. You know what I mean? When Wesco is a fullback. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you start like individually scrutinizing, I could put him at 3rd. So I'll put him at 3rd. But I've never loved the unit more than I love this unit.
Interesting. Yeah, I got to go with the Patriots number 1. I think Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, it's it's a watered down version of what what they're trying to run back with the Gronk Hernandez tandem. But those are two solid tight ends like in the league. Like
RIP to both of them.
Jonas Smith when he was on Tennessee was monster. Hunter Henry out in LA, San Diego, like he's good when he was good when he was healthy. So I'm gonna give the Patriots their shine. I think I'm gonna go. It's tough, man. You're giving it to the Bills.
I'm just trying to be fair. We all were dying for Dawson Knox like just 3 months ago or whatever it was. Like at this point, 6 months ago.
Yeah,
he was our number one target. How could I not? How could we not give it to him?
That's fair. See, I'm so
and I
ready.
love OJ Howard. I'm a sucker for OJ. OJ Howard he was my Vernon Davis, man. like Vernon Davis, I loved him from college, and I was just stuck with him all the way through. And OJ Howard was right after. He was like, he's gonna be the next
Winslow
Vernon Davis.
of the NFL.
Justice Winslow,
Yeah.
like this is guys. I'm like, yo, everything I see, like you're supposed to be the best player. Like, what's going on? What am I missing? Do it already.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Jets at number 2 and put the Bills at number 3, just because like Dawson Knox, like he hasn't. This past season was like his really like I guess if you want to call it a breakout season. Like he hasn't really done much. OJ Howard, like he's done stuff. This past season he was very quiet. I'm not really. It's a good tight end core, but it's not like the tight end core. I'm gonna put the Jets, and they're barely above just because I do like CJ Uzomah. I do like Tyler Conklin. I think as a unit, for being, what's the word? It's not necessarily diverse, but flexible, whether being pass catchers or being run blockers. I'm going to go with the Jets number 2, Bills number 3. I think you could interchange them. It's not too far off. I'm going to be a little homerish on this one. I'm going to put the Jets at 2, Bills at 3. Dolphins, it's just Gesicki and nobody else out there. It's very hard to like look at.
I love that so much.
It's just very hard to be like, although Gesicki's nice. If we're talking about if we're talking about all of them positionally,
right? If we're talking about just tight end ones, he might be the tight end one, the best tight end in the whole division. But as a unit, there's literally nobody else.
As a unit,
I'm taking Henry.
Yeah, Henry's going to be the one that challenges with him.
Honestly, you're splitting hairs at that point between Gesicki and Hunter Henry. But it's like either one's a good answer. You can't go wrong with either one.
All right, so I'm going Patriots. I'm going with Bills just because I think that Knox kind of made a difference for the Bills when he was healthy versus when he was out. So just having that little impact in the game, I think made a big difference for them. Where I'm not sure yet what CJ and what Conklin's going to do for the Jets. So I have them 3rd. And then the Dolphins 4.
We're on the same page there, finally.
Yeah. And, I mean, we haven't got to the QBs yet. But if you look at this chart, that's why I want us to, like, clip this and tweet it out. Because it's lining up very nicely for how we had our divisions ranked earlier. It's pretty clear kind of how we felt if you look at this graph. Where we think teams are going to finish. First, second, third, and fourth in the division.
It's interesting because we left the best for last. And, I mean, people argue the trenches. People argue the quarterback. I mean, it's one of those is the most important positions on an NFL team. What wins games, what loses games. We know that Greg, you think I'm insane most of the time for my Jets takes. The whole world, and by the whole world, I mean at least me and Alex think you're insane for your QB rankings.
Yep.
So let's at least start with you. With this QB ranking for this AFC.
Greg, number 1.
See what you got?
Yeah, I think
Greg starts it off. Tua is my number 1 quarterback.
I think this is very straightforward. I think you guys are gonna have a problem with it, but I think it's very easy. Bills 1, Patriots 2, Jets 3, Dolphins 4.
Ugh.
You can say what you want about Mac Jones. The dude won 10 games as a rookie.
McCorkle. He's McCorkle. Yeah.
Went to the playoffs as a rookie. Won a championship at Alabama. Like, the dude can ball. It's just a matter of can he adapt to the NFL. Zach Wilson hasn't won shit in his life. So, yeah, he looks good. He can throw good, but, you know, can he get it done at the highest level? We haven't seen that yet. We saw 4 wins last year. So, I like Zach. I think he's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. He's better than Tua, who also won the championship, half a championship at Alabama. So, but Tua is just not cut out for the league. I think Zach Wilson is cut out for the league. I think Mac Jones is cut out for the league. I think Mac Jones is going to have a good career because I think he's just smart and he works
He's a
along the
manager.
system. He's a manager. I think you guys are down his arm a little bit. I mean, he can sling it 40, 50 yards, no problem. He can't run. That's his biggest problem is he's a pocket guy. Where Zach Wilson can move. A lot of the young quarterbacks can move around, let the play develop a little bit. If something breaks down, they can make something
Look,
happen.
man,
Mac
we
Jones
all seen
is
it.
go through your
Tom
progression,
Brady's draft day photo, McCorkle's draft day photo. They're all
Yeah.
exactly the same.
And
Listen,
the
I think it's
the
more
problem
than that,
is
though.
the
He can't
last,
throw
last thing on
outside.
it.
He can't throw outside like the hash marks, though, Greg.
Yeah, he can.
It takes so long to he gives me Tim Tebow vibes when he throws outside the hash marks. He can throw downfield.
Yeah,
But when
can
he
throw
starts
downfield.
throwing like on the outside, it's
10-yard
just Tim
out.
Tebow out there. It's just that Tim Tebow like
The biggest problem for Mac Jones is going to be is if the NFL passes his style of play by. He can play well right now. He could be good right now. But 5 years, 10 years from now, there's a chance that the NFL has passed the pocket guy, stand there, throw it,
We're
check
so
down,
close,
all
man.
that
We are
stuff.
so close to losing pocket quarterbacks. We're
Yeah.
so close.
And the check down little dink and dunk things, there's a chance that all that goes away. And it's big plays or the quarterback rushing. So
Shout out to one of our audio producers, Chris Lane. Check down. He's all about the check down. All about the check down.
yeah, so if the NFL passes him by, he might not have the best career. But right now, as we sit year 2, I mean, Mac Jones objectively had a better year than Zach Wilson, and objectively is going to start in a better spot than Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson has a better offense around him. I think he has a better offensive situation around him. Now, Mac Jones doesn't know who his offensive coordinator is in his second year. We saw that with Sam Darnold, all the changes going on. That's not easy for a young quarterback. So I'm happy with the situation Zach Wilson's in. But I think right now, Patriots are number 2, Jets 3, and then Tua again a distant 4th.
Interesting, man. It's interesting because I agree with what you're saying that he's safer. He's a safer pick. I just don't think that he's able to be a deodorant for the Patriots, and without Josh McDaniels there, I think he's gonna have big issues, man. But he has a great offensive line, and he's gonna have time in the pocket, and they're gonna run the ball. On a stat-to-stat basis, I think that Zach Wilson's gonna actually have a statistical better year than him. I really do. I think the turnovers are the only thing that's going to be, question mark, which, some might argue that's the only thing that matters with the statistics, right? So,
And wins,
I agree.
Yeah, turnovers and wins, that might be it. But to your point, that's what's going to happen. We haven't done that, so I kind of went off just what has happened so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
They have the best offensive line. They have the best head coach, and they have arguably the best running backs. Definitely the top, the number 1 running back at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy to say that he's going to have a better year, but as a quarterback, as just a straight position, Zach Wilson just does more. You know what I mean? Like one of his offensive staff members passed away, before the year started. He was a rookie. He was obviously smaller, right, than everyone else. He looked like a baby. He didn't know what he was doing. He has a rookie head coach. The offensive line sucked. He had no wide receivers. At some point, he had no running back. He had a tough year. He had no tight end. Yeah, he had no defense. He had a tough year, man, and he was injured. Nothing was in his favor at all last year, besides the fact that the organization also sucked. So it wasn't like, hey, we're really good and you're just doing bad. What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just like we're all bad and we get it. That was the only silver lining for him last year. We'll put Josh Allen first, because I think that's the best thing the Bills have. Like, we're talking about positions. Like, this is I think their D-line comes close, but they're right now, Josh Allen, number 1, that's what they got. I'm putting Zach Wilson 2. Yeah, he didn't win in BYU, but he did win. Maybe he didn't win versus in the bowl game versus Carolina, but the argument was he wins too much. The other teams must suck. You know what I'm saying? So he was winning.
He won a lot, but again, he won against
exactly.
teams
So
that
that's what I'm
play
saying.
BYU.
That's what I'm saying. He won a lot. And the argument was he was winning too much. It looks too easy.
Yeah.
So I don't think he doesn't have that winning thing. I just don't think he was comfortable. He broke up with his girl.
Yeah.
Right? He's good. He's good to go. Dude, he's got all the first year things kind of out of the way. The first year head coach, the girlfriend coming in. The offensive line nonsense.
There's no doubt in my mind that we could be sitting here next year doing the same exercise, and Zach Wilson is a clear second best quarterback in the division. I just think right now, after we saw in year one, based on what the teams are and where the teams are at, I just think Mac Jones is a little bit better right now. That's all. Just a little bit.
It's not okay.
It's gross.
Okay.
It's gross to hear that out loud.
Yeah.
It's gross to hear that out loud, but I understand your logic, Greg. And when you start looking at the stats for these guys, right? You look at like the past season. It's clear cut who's number one. It's Josh Allen, right? Dude threw for over 4,000 yards. He had a 92.2 rating, 36 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 63% completion. Dude's number one. It's easy to put Tua last. Even though he had a 67.8% completion percentage, only threw for 2,653 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, got a 90 rating, but he didn't really produce that much.
And
wasn't
it
really
looked
given the
terrible
capability
the whole time.
He looked terrible the entire time, but he also wasn't given the capability of just running an offense, and rightfully so. I think Forbes was like, I'm not going to let you do that because I don't trust you to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my job regardless, but it ain't going to be because of you. All right. So actually probably would have kept his job, right? The Dolphins wanted to tank.
True.
They have kept his job. But I think
so happy that Tom Brady's on the Dolphins. That's all I get to think about.
But where it gets difficult is what Greg's talking about, because when you start looking at Mac Jones, right? 67.6% completion for 3,801 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 92.5 rating, compared to Zach Wilson's 55.6 completion percentage, 2,334 yards, 9 TDs, 11 interceptions, 69.7 rating. Yes, Mac Jones better. I get that, but I can't.
They don't have an offensive coordinator at all.
The Patriots?
Yeah, it's vacant.
Yeah, they don't know who it's gonna be. It's either gonna be, I think, Joe Judge or Patricia.
Oh man, if it's Patricia,
that's
gross.
He might be.
That's down bad. If you're getting Matt Patricia,
that's what I'm saying. If we're sitting here next year, I think it's easy. There's a situation and there's a likelihood that Zach Wilson is the second best quarterback in the division right now.
Yeah, I can definitely see. Huh?
Vacant. It's vacant.
I know. I agree with you. I get where Greg's saying, and it's tough. It's tough, but Greg's gonna make me say the thing that I hate saying out loud, and I'm gonna go with Mac Jones right now as number 2. But it's just because I need to see Zach Wilson do it. I get it. If it wasn't so drastically off, and I get it, Mac Jones doesn't have an offensive coordinator. I get what Zach Wilson went through as a struggle last season too, with everybody in his ear too last season. You can make the case either way. You can totally make the case either way. But the one thing I can say is that I saw Mac Jones do very little and still be successful. So I'm going to go with him too, as of right now, for the positional. But I think it's going to switch. I think Zach Wilson is going to be number 2 this season. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Mac Jones.
Sucks. I hope Cole Strange sucks so bad.
I mean,
love the guy. I hope he sucks so
Mac
bad.
Jones was 13th in the league in passing yards last year. It's nothing to sneeze at.
No, I'm going to sneeze.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Oh, man.
Go right ahead.
Well, that's good, guys. We did it. We wrapped it up. We gave our positional needs for offense. We'll do defense next week. But you know what, everyone? When you listen to this pod, let us know your thoughts and opinions. Give us your ranking of all the positions. Let us know. We want to know what your guys' thoughts. Do you agree with us? Do you think we're totally off base with one? Do you guys actually think the Dolphins should be number 1 in every single category and just go against completely what John's thinking? Let us all know.
Yeah,
let us all know.
We can tweet out the tier maker link
I'm wearing the teal
for people.
I'm wearing the Dolphins teal, bro.
That's gross.
Yeah, that is weird. We'll leave it in the description of the YouTube video so you can go in yourself and rank and tier what you think it will be. And then you can share it with us online on all our social media accounts.
That's a fact.
No one make fun of you.
No one will. It's the internet.
No one's going to make fun of you.
Everyone's
No one's making fun. This is a safe space. This is a safe space where everyone can share their thoughts and ideas. No one's going to make fun of you. But on that note,
you put the Dolphins first.
Unless you put Tua first. Yeah,
I'm telling you right now.
Oh man. But on that note, thank everyone for tuning in for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. You know what to do. Please make sure to subscribe to us on all audio listening platforms. Well, you don't have to do it on all audio listening platforms. We are available on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a comment. We will read it. We're also partnered with Minute Media and Fansided, so you can find this podcast on the Jet Press and the Daily Knicks and Fansided itself. And guess what? We're also on YouTube. Knicks comment, Jets comment, ETC period. Subscribe. No one writes out Excel. That's just wild, man. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. When you watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment. Like we said, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about this video. Also, while you're over at the YouTube page, we got Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, our guy, co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every sport. You guys got to put money down on the line. You guys got to place a bet. Go check these guys out. Like we said at the top of this pod, they had Chris Persianen on. That's evergreen stuff. You need draft material just to see how it all plays out in the end? Go listen to it. You guys want to place bets tomorrow because you want to see who's going to – you guys got an idea of where someone's going to go in the lottery or throughout the entire draft? Go listen to these guys. These guys got you covered. And then last and certainly not what?
If you're betting golf and you're not listening to Chip, if you're betting NBA draft and you're not listening to Chris, if you're betting daily MLB and you're not listening to Greg, you're just a silly guy. You're a silly girl. You're silly.
He was missing out on free money.
It's silly.
Free
Chip's
money.
got the hookup on the golf, man.
Dude, I can't believe you called Matt Fitzpatrick. Dude,
and
nuts.
Zatoris, they finished 1 and 2.
And Rory, like it's crazy. He's crazy right now. So
yep.
He knows every tournament coming up. I've never seen anything like it. Like, yeah, Travelers. I was like, what are you talking about, man?
Chip is that dude. He is him when it comes to
Chip Murphy 7.
Gotta go follow our guy. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Jets. Let's go Jaden Ivey, I guess. I don't even know anymore.